From St. Louis Park High School, ParkTV 16 Sports presents high school volleyball featuring the Blake Bears and the St. Louis Park Orioles. Hi everybody, I'm Howard Luloff welcoming you to our first volleyball match of the 2014 fall season on ParkTV 16 as the Blake Bears from the new Independent Metro Athletic Conference and former members of the Tri-Metro Conference take on the St. Louis Park Orioles, a member of the newly formed Metro West Conference. The Blake Bears are playing their first match of the season after winning only one match last year over the Minneapolis Patrick Henry Patriots. St. Louis Park is in their second match of the season. They opened up their season on August 21st against former North Suburban Conference rival the Irondale Knights and lost in 4 sets. It's a new era for the Orioles. They have a new coach, Michelle Fuller. As the officials get set for tonight's match, they are Tim Harlow and Michelle Schneider. Both teams have been introduced by public address announcer Steve Gerber. As the Orioles come in with 2 seniors, Callie Vinson and Maisie Peckerick. Blake will have a libero, Ella Lemke, to start tonight's match. If you notice, the libero has a different color jersey and can only play in the back row. The libero is more of a defensive specialist. St. Louis Park's libero is Maddie McIntosh, and we were going to be underway as St. Louis Park will be serving first. For those of you new to high school volleyball, it's the best 3 sets out of 5. A team must win by at least 2 points at 25. As the first serve of the match from Callie Vinson goes into the net, Blake gets the first point. Quintana Everett will be serving for the Bears. As the ball goes out of bounds, 2 in a row for the Bears. We're glad you can join us from St. Louis Park High School. A right side shot, and it goes out of bounds. It doesn't. St. Louis Park is on the board. They get their first point on a kill. And serving for the Orioles is Taylor Ewald, the Orioles setter. There's a violation on the Orioles. And a point for the Bears, who lead by 2. The Bears are also entering a new era under first-year head coach Whitney Murado. Whitney is from northern Wisconsin, Washburn, Wisconsin. Ewald on the right side. That's Everett with a set. A hit from the back row by McIntosh. And a point for the Bears, who lead by 3. As Lemke will serve for Blake, which is 3 campuses, Wayzata, Hopkins, and Minneapolis. There's a block on the left side, and it goes out of bounds. It's a 4-point lead for the Bears. 3 in a row for Blake. There's a block on the left side by Ellie Walker. We get our first substitution of the match. It will be Mackenzie Evenson. Evenson, one of two juniors for new head coach Michelle Fuller. A 5-point lead for Blake. And a hit from the back row by Pekaric results in the Oriole point, ending a 4-0 run from the Bears. As McIntosh will serve. A low hit. And a hit on the right side. Goes high and out of bounds. 2 in a row for St. Louis Park. They cut the Bears' lead in half. Off the top of the net and an illegal hit from Ellie Walker. And the lead is down to 2. The Orioles gaining ground in the first set. As the ball goes into the net, the run comes to an end for the Orioles as the Bears take a 3-point lead with Sierra Johnson entering for Blake. And Johnson will also serve. It's a short one. The ball goes back to St. Louis Park. As Callie Vincent returns for St. Louis Park. Rose Colomo will take a breather. McIntosh in the back row. A left side hit and a point for St. Louis Park. Goes off of Mackenzie Everson for the kill, and the lead is down to 1. There have been no ties yet in the opening set. And a hit from the back row that goes out of bounds. And Blake is up by 2. Colomo's back in for St. Louis Park. Ewald with a set. And a kill! It looked like it was Pekaric. The lead is down to 1. The Orioles have not yet led in this first set. As the ball goes off of the net. First tie of the opening set. As Evenson will continue to serve. And that's a kill from Anna Gleason. St. Louis Park takes their first lead. Do we have a replay, Paul? But due to replay issues, we will not have a replay. As St. Louis Park is up by 2. 4 in a row for the Orioles. As the ball goes out of bounds and up into the bleachers to the left of our cameraman. St. Louis Park is up by 3 as Whitney Morado calls timeout. Each team gets 2 timeouts per set. They get an additional timeout if both teams are even at 23. By the way, if you would like to order a copy of tonight's non-conference volleyball match between Blake and St. Louis Park, it's very easy to do. Go to ParkTV.org, or you can phone our viewer hotline at 952-924-2635. That's 952-924-2635. Or you can also talk to our producer-director, Paul Broden, who was in the truck tonight just outside the gym, giving you the sights as well as the sounds of tonight's opening volleyball match of the 2014 fall sports season. This is the first season for head coach Michelle Fuller at St. Louis Park. She spent 7 years as an assistant at Bloomington Jefferson before taking the head coaching job at St. Louis Park. As the ball goes out of bounds, Blake gets possession. And the St. Louis Park lead is down to 2. Walker will serve for the Bears. A short hit, and the lead is down to 1. There's already been one tie in this first set, and that's been at 8. An illegal hit, and it's all even at 11. The second tie of the first set. Ewald with a high set. And a kill that will go out of bounds. Stays in, and St. Louis Park regains the lead. As Gleason will serve for the Orioles. But they lose on an illegal service. It's all even at 12, the third tie of the set. As Elizabeth Opp is in for the Bears. The Orioles regain the lead. As Ewald will serve. A back set. As the ball goes out of bounds and a point for the Bears, it's all even at 13. There have been 4 ties in the opening set. That was Quintana Everett on the kill. As the ball goes out of bounds, Blake regains the lead. Everett will serve. It will go into the net, and it's all even at 14. Tie number 5. as St. Louis Park regains the lead on a service error. It's Hannah Korsland on the hit. A block from Kate Korsland and the point. It's all even at 15, tie number 6. And there is another timeout. It looked like another timeout for Blake. It's all even at 15. There have been ties at 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Before Michelle Fuller came to Minnesota, she grew up in the Okoboji area of Iowa. And I was talking with her before the match, and she took the team to the Okoboji area for team bonding. Okoboji, one of the top resort areas in Iowa, which includes the small town of Arnold's Park. A summer playground just over the border from southern Minnesota. As Blake regains the lead. It has been a back and forth opening set since the opening tie at 8 as the serve goes out of bounds. And it's even at 16. 7 ties in the first set. We could be here a while, folks. And the kill from Bailey Hyanga. But it goes out of bounds and the Bears regain the lead. As Elizabeth Opp will serve for the Bears. It's all even at 17. 8 ties in the opening set. Callie Vincent will serve for St. Louis Park. A sidearm hit from Korsland. Just goes over the net. And a block on the left side and a point for the Orioles. It was a block by Hyanga. The Orioles regain the lead. And they lead by 2. It's their biggest lead so far in the opening set. There's a block in the middle from Gleason. Gleason. There's a race for the ball and a point for St. Louis Park. They are 5 points away from the opening set as the Bears call timeout. This season, Blake is in a brand new conference, the Independent Metro Athletic Conference, after years of competing in the Tri-Metro. The Tri-Metro expanded with the dissolution of the North Suburban Conference, as well as the Minnesota Conference, and added Fridley, Columbia Heights, and Holy Angels, putting the conference membership at 16, but citing the expansion of conference to a high number of teams making it not very competitive. Blake, as well as St. Paul Academy, Minnehaha Academy, Providence Academy, and Mounds Park Academy decided to leave the Tri-Metro and form the Independent Metro Athletic Conference. The acronym sounds like a computer, IMAC. It's probably the official computer of the conference. As we're back to action, the ball hitting the net. A 4-point lead for St. Louis Park. As Vincent will serve. Played off the net, but it goes out of bounds. The ball midway in the net. As the Bears will serve with Kate Korsland serving for Blake. And the kill on the right side. Kayanga on the kill. 3 points to go for the Orioles. As Kate Huber will serve. A sidearm hit from Ewald. The Orioles with a 5-point lead are 2 points away from locking up the first set. But the ball goes into the net and Blake will serve. Hannah Korsland serving. And the kill from Everett. The lead is down to 3. Goes into the net. 2 in a row for the Bears. Ewald. As St. Louis Park will call time. They are up by 1, 23-22. And hoping to close out the opening set. As first-year head coach Michelle Fuller is conferring with her team. Fuller replaced Mark Nelson as head coach of the Orioles. As both teams are finished with timeouts, unless the set is even at 23, and each team will get an additional timeout. Goes out of bounds, and it's all even at 23. The 9th tie of the opening set. Vincent back in. And a kill from Taylor Ewald. Oh. Correction, that was Peckerick. Set point, St. Louis Park. Park wins the opening set 25-23. We'll take a break and we'll be back with the second set of tonight's non-conference girls volleyball match between the Blake Bears and the St. Louis Park Orioles. You're watching high school volleyball on ParkTV 16.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Howard Luloff back at St. Louis Park High School. We're about to get ready for the second set of tonight's girls volleyball match between the Blake Bears and the St. Louis Park Orioles. In the first set, after a 6-1 lead in favor of Blake, St. Louis Park rallied back, and it became a back and forth scoring affair with Blake and St. Louis Park exchanging leads. And there were a total of 9 ties in the opening set before St. Louis Park emerged victorious 25-23. As the Bears will be serving first in the second set, serving first will be Ellie Walker. Ewald, left side. And the kill from Everett. Blake opens the scoring in the second set. There's a high set. Everett with a second kill and a point for the Bears. 2 straight points for Blake. As the ball goes out of bounds, St. Louis Park is on the board. Taylor Ewald. One of 4 sophomores will serve. A block on the center from Hayenga. It's all even at 2. The first tie of the second set. The Orioles vault in front with 3 straight points. Goes out of bounds, 4 in a row for St. Louis Park. If you just joined us, St. Louis Park won the first set 25-23 in a match, according to our producer-director Paul Broden, took about a half hour. It was back and forth between St. Louis Park and Blake as the Orioles have scored 5 in a row. The ball going into the net. as the ball hits the partition. 6 in a row for the Orioles as Blake calls timeout. As stated earlier, Whitney Morado is the head coach of the Bears in her first year at the helm, hoping to build a winning tradition for a private school that has won 64 state championships. Since private schools were allowed into the Minnesota State High School League in 1975, 27 of them have come in both girls and boys tennis. The girls have won 18 state titles. The boys have won 9. All of them in Class A. Another dominant sport has been girls lacrosse, which goes back to the days of Deborah Wood and currently under Laura Mark. Last year, the Bears won the 2014 State Class A Girls Hockey Championship under Sean Rode, who replaced the late head coach Brano Stankovsky. As a double hit is called, the Oriole lead is up to 5. They have scored 7 in a row. And a service ace for Ewald. The Orioles have been on fire. As the streak will come to an end, it looked like it was even bowling. As the ball goes into the net, 2 in a row for the Bears. Make it 3. As St. Louis Park bounced back from a 2-0 deficit to take an 8-2 lead, and now Blake has reeled off 3 straight points, and the ball will go back to St. Louis Park with Maisie Pekaric serving. Head coach Michelle Fuller describes her seniors who have a lot of energy, as the Orioles have doubled up the Bears. And a point for the Orioles. The lead is up to 6. A short hit and a point for St. Louis Park. They lead by 7. No point was recorded. It will be a replay. It looked like Pekaric was getting ready to serve. An illegal formation was called on the Bears. It will be an 8-point lead for the Orioles. As the ball goes out of bounds, it will go back to Blake. Blake was founded in 1900. A block in the center from Gleason. As the ball goes out of bounds and almost heading for the concession stand, but stopped by a player on the sideline. A net serve, the ball will go back to the Bears. Emily Hikes is in for Blake. An illegal formation has been called against the Orioles. Gleason, and a kill. Anna Gleason with the kill. The lead is 7. As Vincent will serve. Goes off of Everett. A right set. It goes out of bounds and a point for the Bears, as the Orioles will take timeout, leading by 7. Well, coming up on Thursday night on ParkTV 16, it will be another high school soccer twin bill, as the St. Louis Park Orioles will host the Roseville Raiders. Girls at 5, boys at 7. Ira Gerwitz will be on the play-by-play for both contests. It's all part of a busy Thursday night as the St. Louis Park football team begins their season, their second under head coach Ben Wolf. They will begin their maiden voyage in the Metro West Conference play as they head to Bloomington Stadium to take on the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. The Jaguars having one of their best seasons in years last year under head coach Tim Carlson, the 4th head football coach in Jefferson history. The other 3 were Bruno Waldner, Stan Shea, and John Leverance. Their home opener is not until September 12th, when the Orioles will host the Richfield Spartans. Meanwhile, it's back to volleyball. As the Bears will serve, the Orioles with a 7-point lead. As Quintana Everett is talking with referee Tim Harlow. Meanwhile, Kate Korsland will serve for the Bears. A back set from Ewald. And a point for Blake. The lead is down to 6. A violation has been called against the Bears. A 7-point lead for the Orioles. As Huber will serve. Correction, that was Evenson. As Blake will serve. Orioles up by 6. Goes out of bounds. And a point for the Orioles with Gleason serving. An illegal formation called on the Bears. And will go out of bounds. St. Louis Park is 5 points away from a 2-set lead. Goes into the net. The Orioles have their biggest lead at 10. It's a service ace for Gleason. 3 points away. As it goes out of bounds. The official ruled it's a point for Blake. The lead is 10. As Elizabeth Opp returns for the Bears. A violation has been called on the Bears. 2 points to go as Ewald will serve. Set point, St. Louis Park. The Orioles have a 2-set lead as they win the second set 25-12. We will take a break and we'll be back with a third and possibly deciding set of tonight's non-conference volleyball match between the Blake Bears and the St. Louis Park Orioles. You're watching Girls High School Volleyball on ParkTV 16.
How do you know? No cages, no crates, no tie stalls, no painful living conditions. How do you know? No hormones or antibiotics in feed. How can you know? Your choice is wholesome and humane. Did you know choosing natural foods raised in humane conditions promotes farm animal well-being as well as yours and your family? Choose Certified Humane. Certified Humane certification and labeling program assures customers that when they purchase products with the Certified Humane logo, those animals were raised healthy and humanely. When you choose Certified Humane, everyone benefits. For more information about Certified Humane and its benefits to animals, farmers, and consumers, visit their website at www.certifiedhumane.org. That's www.certifiedhumane.org.
Howard Lulloff back at St. Louis Park High School, where the Orioles have a two-set lead over the Blake Bears, winning the first set 25-23 and the second 25-12, putting the set away early as they went on an 8-0 run early in the set and held off an late Blake rally, as St. Louis Park will serve to start the third set. By the way, I was talking with referee Tim Harlow between sets and on what the call was during a service. And he was telling me that it was a rotation violation as St. Louis Park gets on the board on a service ace from Ewald. Before each set, a serving rotation order is submitted to the scores table. If a team does not align in the proper formation, a rotation violation is called, costing the team a point. 2 in a row for St. Louis Park. As it bounces off the net, St. Louis Park has scored 3 straight points to start the third set. Goes into the net, 4 in a row for the Orioles. As the ball goes into the net from Hayenga, Blake is on the board. Everett is serving for the Bears. Played off the net and goes out of bounds, 2 in a row for Blake. The Orioles will get the ball back on a service error. Peckerick will serve for St. Louis Park. Goes off of Hayenga, a point for the Bears. As Hannah Korslund returns for Blake. Left side hit, and a point for the Bears on a kill from Kate Korslund. It's a 1-point lead for the Orioles. Emily Hike serving. It's all even at 5. The first tie of the third set. In the first set, there were 9 ties, only 1 in the second. goes into the net. The Bears take the lead. It's their first lead since the first set. Mackenzie Everson is back in for the Orioles. It's all even at 6, tie number 2. There's a block in the center, and the Orioles take the lead. It's a kill from Emily Heights from Hannah Korsland. It's all even at 7. There have been ties at 5, 6, and 7. Ella Lemke serving for the Bears. And the Orioles regain the lead. Callie Vincent is back in for St. Louis Park, and she will serve. Kate Korsland on the kill. It's all even at 8. The 4th tie of the 3rd set. 5, 6, 7, and 8. As the ball heads for the concession stand. How about a hot dog with that volleyball? I think it would taste rather rubbery. The Orioles even the game at 9. Tie number 5. As the ball goes out of bounds, the Bears regain the lead. A race for the ball. As the Bears go up by 2. Goes into the net. The lead is 3 for Blake. Everett. A one-handed hit. And another kill for Everett. Blake is up by 4 as Michelle Fuller will call her first timeout of the 3rd set. It's now time to take a look at the top 10 teams in Class 3A girls volleyball. The number 1 team is the new member of the Metro West Conference, the Chaska Hawks. The Eagan Wildcats are 2nd. Eden Prairie is 3rd. Delano is 4th. Hopkins is 5th. Osseo is 6th. There is a tie for 7th between the Roseville Raiders and the Lakeville South Cougars. Edina is 9th, and rounding out the top 10, a tie between Wayzata and Minnetonka. The entire Lake Conference is in the top 10. Other top teams to watch for. In Class 2A, the number 1 team is the Belle Plaine Tigers. The defending champion Marshall Tigers are 2nd. It could be a battle of the Tigers if the two teams play in the state championship in November at the XL Energy Center. In Class 1A, Bethlehem Academy is number 1. As we're back to the action in St. Louis Park with Blake up by 5. As the Bears are on a 5-0 run. Goes out of bounds. The run is up to 6. Nobody was home on the play. As things have seemed to go a little bit flat for the Orioles in the third set. A sidearm hit and a kill. The Orioles will get the ball back, ending a 7-0 Blake run. As Gleason will serve for the Orioles. A center hit by Jalen Carroll. 2 in a row for the Orioles. Good play in the center line from Carroll. As the Orioles are on a 3-0 run with an ace from Gleason. The ball goes out of bounds and Blake will get it back up by 5. As it goes out of bounds, the Orioles lower the deficit to 4. The Orioles will also be in action this coming Thursday along with the football and soccer teams. They will play at Como Park in St. Paul. As Blake will get the ball back with a 5-point lead. The Bears will host Nova Classical Academy from St. Paul on Friday the 29th. Hayenga will be back in for the Orioles. As the ball goes toward the exit. Fortunately, nobody was going in. And the good news that there was nobody who got hit by the ball. Goes out of bounds. The lead is down to 2 as the Orioles make a comeback with Blake calling timeout. And a reminder once again, if you would like to order a copy of tonight's girls volleyball match between Blake and St. Louis Park, go to ParkTV.org or phone our viewer hotline at 952-924-2635. Blake head coach Whitney Murado comes from a coaching family. Her parents coached in Washburn, Wisconsin. And talking with Whitney before the match, she cited her parents as her mentors in coaching. She was an assistant coach at Wyzetta and decided to take the plunge into becoming a head coach. There's a block on the left side from Kate Korsland, and the lead is 3. With Hannah Korsland back in for Blake. And the kill from Hayenga. McIntosh, the libero, will serve the lone 8th grader on the Orioles. The lead is down to 1. But it goes out of bounds. The Bears are 5 points away from extending the match into a 4th set. That's Everett. And a good pass on the front line cuts the lead to 1. As Vincent will serve. A good block in front by Gleason. It's all even at 20. The 6th tie of the 3rd set. A block on the right side. There's a race for the ball. Everett in the back row. And the Bears regain the lead. Heckerich is back in. Kate Korsland serving for Blake. Goes out of bounds. The lead is 2. As Michelle Fuller calls timeout. The last timeout for the Orioles in the 3rd set. Unless the match gets extended, because a team has to win by at least 2 points. And there have been scores sometimes in the 30s, because the team battles back and forth to try to win, and the other team scores. That's the one thing that's been good about the change years ago to rally scoring. Before that, the team could only score while it was serving, and games were played to 15 points, the best 2 games out of 3. And with rally scoring, it's a faster paced match. Goes in. The Bears are 2 points away from a 4th set. Set point, Blake. But the Orioles bounce back and trail by 3. But it was ruled out of bounds, so the set goes to the Blake Bears 25-21. There will be a 4th set in tonight's match, and we'll have it for you after we take a break. You're watching high school girls volleyball on ParkTV 16.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of skin cancer, including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer, and the 2nd most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Howard Luloff back at St. Louis Park High School as we get set for the 4th set of tonight's match between the Blake Bears and the St. Louis Park Orioles. The Blake Bears coming out on top in the 3rd set, 25-21. If the Bears win the 4th set, there will be a 5th set that will be played until 15 points are reached. The team still has to win by at least 2. If St. Louis Park wins, that is it. The match is over. As the Orioles get the early lead. St. Louis Park won the first 2 sets 25-23 and 25-12 as they dominated the 2nd set. A high hit. Goes into the net. 2 in a row for the Orioles. As Ewald will serve. A service ace for Ewald. 3 in a row for the Orioles. Make it 4 in a row as the ball goes off of Ellie Walker. Goes under the net. 5 in a row for St. Louis Park. Everett goes out of bounds. 6 points in a row for St. Louis Park. Goes over them, and another ace for Ewald. As Blake calls timeout, the Orioles opening the 4th set on a 7-0 run. Other teams to watch in Class 2A girls volleyball. Hill Murray, the Concordia Academy Beacons, and Belle Plains Minnesota River Conference rival, the Jordan Jaguars. Both Belle Plaine and Jordan are hosting the 2014 Minnesota State Amateur Baseball Tournament, the best of small town baseball in Class C, as well as suburban baseball in Class B, including the Chaska Cubs. Maple Lake is also a growing power under veteran head coach Marty Keeble. As Ewald will continue to serve. There's a block on the left side and a point for the Orioles. Jalen Carroll with an outstanding block on the left side. 8 points in a row for the Orioles. A block on the left side from Everett as the Bears get on the scoreboard, ending a run of 8 in a row. Goes into the net, 2 in a row for the Bears. Evenson is back in for St. Louis Park. A line drive. And the kill on the right side. The Orioles are up by 7. Hayenga's back in for the Orioles. It will go out of bounds. The Bears regain possession. As Hikes will serve. Ewald in the back row. And the Bears cut the lead to 4. That was Rose Colasino on the play for the Orioles. They get it over. Kate Corslin on the hit. Into the net, the Orioles get the ball back and lead by 6. As McIntosh will serve for St. Louis Park. Everett. A one-handed hit went over the net. Kate Corslin goes into the net. As Colosino was called for the carry. The Orioles have doubled up the Bears. For Blake. As St. Louis Park will call timeout. They began the 4th set on an 8-0 run, and Blake has bounced back to outscore St. Louis Park 6-2. We remind fans that there's a soccer doubleheader coming up on Thursday, August 28th, as St. Louis Park will be hosting the Roseville Raiders, girls at 5 and the boys at 7. Ira Gerwitz will be calling the action. Great to have Ira back up behind the Park 16 microphone, bringing his soccer knowledge to the cable casts. It's also the opening night for Oriole football as they travel to Bloomington Stadium to take on the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. Can Ben Wolf win a game this season? After going 0-9 last year in his second year at the helm for the Orioles. As it goes into the net, the lead is down to 3. As there's a block, and it will go to Blake. The lead is down to 2. An 8-2 run for the Bears. It is also an ace. As the tide has seemed to turn for Blake in the 4th set. Callie Vincent is back in for the Orioles, with Ella Lemke serving. But the Orioles get the ball back. There have not been any ties in the 4th set. The Oriole lead is 3. It'll be a service ace for Vincent. The ball was barely in bounds. Kate Carswell with a hit that goes out of bounds. 4 in a row for the Orioles. They started the 4th 7 and 8-0 run, and now they're on a 4-0 run. Another ace. The ball was touched by a bear. 6-point lead for St. Louis Park. Goes into the net. 6 in a row for St. Louis Park as Blake will call time. Each team has used 1 timeout. Other teams to watch for in Class A are New Life Academy, Heritage Christian, and Southwest Christian. Outstanding volleyball in the Minnesota Christian Athletic Association. New Life Academy is located in Woodbury, Heritage Christian in Maple Grove, and Southwest Christian is located in Chaska. 2 outstanding volleyball teams in the Carver County seat of Chaska. Among the alums from the Blake School include the current governor of Minnesota, Mark Dayton. I don't think he's watching tonight's volleyball match, but he'd probably be impressed with the way Blake has battled back. With the Orioles leading by 6. There's a block on the left side. Everett with the kill. As the lead is down to 5. With Colasino coming back in for the Orioles. And a point for the Bears. The Bears have scored 3 in a row. As Vincent returns to the set. It goes out of bounds to the right of public address announcer Steve Gerber. As the lead is down to 2. Colasino back in. As the ball goes out of bounds, 1-point lead for the Orioles. They were up 16-10. Now the Bears have scored 5 in a row. The Orioles go back up by 2. Evenson back in for St. Louis Park, and she will serve. As it's out of bounds, and a point for the Bears. The ball goes out of bounds. The lead is back up to 2. Everett on the hit, with Gleason serving. And under the net, it's a 3-point lead for St. Louis Park. The Orioles switching from a 3-player line. As the ball goes out of bounds, they are 5 points away from wrapping up the match. As the ball goes into the net, a 4-point run for the Orioles. They are 3 points away from Michelle Fuller's first win as head coach. They're 2 points away. A 6-0 run. But the Bears are still alive. The lead is down to 5. And the ball goes under the net. St. Louis Park calls time. They are 2 points away from wrapping up the match. But the Bears are coming on strong and hoping to extend it to a deciding 5th set. In talking with Michelle Fuller before the match, I was asking her what would it take to build a winning tradition at St. Louis Park. They need to love the game and love to play together. Team chemistry is very important in a successful team. As both teams have used both of their timeouts. Match point, St. Louis Park. Louis Park wins in 4 sets, 25-19 in the fourth. Put it in the books, Michelle Fisher. You've won your first varsity match at St. Louis Park. Congratulations to first-year head coach Michelle Fisher on winning her first varsity match 3 sets to 1 with a fourth set 25-19. Here is a recap of tonight's match between Blake and St. Louis Park. After the Blake Bears built an early lead in the first set, St. Louis Park came on strong, and it went back and forth with 9 ties in the opening set as the Orioles emerged victorious 25-23. St. Louis Park kept the momentum going in the second set as they defeated the Bears 25-12. But Blake came on strong in the third set as they beat the Orioles 25-21, and the Orioles started the fourth set on an 8-0 run and built a run of 6 as the Bears started to make a comeback, but the Orioles came on strong to beat Blake in the fourth set 25-19, the first varsity win for head coach Michelle Fisher in her inaugural home opener. The Orioles increased their record to 1-1, and they will play at Como Park on Thursday, August 28th in St. Paul. The Bears fall to 0-1, and they will play on Friday, August 29th as they host Nova Classical Academy on the Hopkins campus. For our producer-director, Paul Broden, and the rest of our ParkTV 6 crew, Kurt and Dina, this is Howard Loloff saying goodbye and reminding you once again the final score. The St. Louis Park Orioles beat the Blake Bears 3 sets to 1. So long, everybody.